Prior to my trip to Cuba, I viewed Latinidad as a derogatory term within the United States. I thought it was an umbrella term that was used to group people from South America and the Caribbean. I didn't think that it was a term that had anything to do with me.
Latinidad for me was an identifier, something that I would identify myself through the census or in regards to race.
Now that I'm back from Cuba, my understanding of Latinidad is it pertains to people living on this pan-ethnic geographic space. It includes the United States, the Caribbean, South America, Mexico, and it includes culture, languages, political things pertaining to like the conquest and colonization of the Americas, perhaps, that unites people.
You know, through the history, the Caribbeans were one of the first to be colonized. Then you saw Mexico, Central America and South America went through the same system. We all speak the same language, which is Spanish. You could see the connection even with race. You know, you got your white Latinos, and then you got your Afro Latinos, things that you see in Central America and South America. You know, here and there you get your sprinkles of your Asian Latinos. You know, things that we in Central America have seen for years already. So that system of colonization and, you know, and the recolonization for some Latinos even here in the United States.
So after the seminar, the Cuban students helped me understand that Latino is just a title that was given to us by the people in power. A title that we don't agree with ourselves. Oh, you're Latino? No, because I think I'm something else. But once the people in power say, oh, you're Latino, then we're Latinos. Because they're the cool people. So because they're the cool people, we want to be cool, and we're Latinos. And we're cool now because they think we're Latinos, and they say we're Latinos, so now I'm a Latino or Latina. Prior to my trip to Cuba, an American person was someone that only spoke English, someone that looked white, someone that had blue eyes or green eyes, color eyes, and blonde hair. But they were kind of native to the United States, you can say from Europe, but not anybody that migrated to the country.
For me, Americanidad was a term or a sense of achievement. As an immigrant to this country, my parents instilled a very early age that, you know, do good, don't get in trouble, be careful with the law, you know, become an American citizen. You know, that's the American way.
In Cuba, there was a man who was fishing, and we were discussing Latinidad and Americanidad with him. Raul and Angie and I were discussing with him. And he said, I'm an American, you're an American, we're all Americans. And I think that's where I made that relevant connection, where I realized that it was not him claiming that he was a citizen of the United States. He was a citizen of this space, and we are all brought together by, so whether it be culture, language, conquest, colonization. And so I had this epiphany where I realized that he was using the term in an entirely different way that I hadn't been taught here in the United States at all.
I understood what my grandpa told me once, that an Americano, or Americana in this case, is someone that it's from the north of the continent to the south of the continent, not just from the US. So when you use Mexican American, that will be a double standard because you're Mexican, but you're an American too. Same thing with Cubans. They don't see that. They don't say, oh, I'm Cuban American. They consider themselves Americans because they're part of the continent.
You know, now to be able to say, yeah, it's not something that I achieved to be, but it's something that I've always been. I've always been part of the Americas. I'm a Central American.
I like the identity as a Latino because it acknowledges that I have, well, personally to me, it acknowledges that I have an indigenous background historically, and that it's a history that has been suffered through the colonization of Spain, and it's an amalgamation between the colonizers and the indigenous people that lived in El Salvador.
I do self-identify as Latina. However, I think I will always self-identify as Chicana. And I think that just has to do with my understanding of my culture. It's a political statement. But if I was in a group of women that were from different parts of the Americas, I would say we're all Latinas, or I would use that in that kind of a way where if I was the only Chicana in the room, I wouldn't want to disinclude myself from a group of women that I feel a kindred connection with.
We're forced to use the term Latino. We don't have a choice. I don't have time to be explaining I'm this and that because of this and that. We just have to accept that we are Latinos because that was the title that it was given to us.
In American society, I don't think a lot of people say we're all American, but I don't think we're all treated equal. I don't think we're all given the same opportunity, and I think the word identity, the identity of Latino, provides me a political clout that it could also say that I am an American and that I am Latino. So that gives me a political clout, that gives me a stance to show where I want to stand.
In the poem Nuestra América by Jose Marti, he's telling us as the Latinos that we are classified, that we have to fight for our title as Americans. Now, not just to stay with a Latino or oh, okay, just because, I'm colonized and they told me I'm Latino, then I'm a Latino. We have to fight. He mentioned something that instead of having pillows or nice things under our pillows, we should have guns. Not literally, right? But it's just like a metaphor to say that we have to gain our name and say, hey, we're Americans, no matter what other people say.
The problem with using the term Americano, a lot of things would have to change. I think within the United States, our understanding of the term Americano would have to change. It would have to stop being so ethnocentric, because I think that's what keeps me from straying away from that word. And that's why I claim Latino or Latina, depending again on the environment that I'm in. But our understandings of these terms would have to continue to be dialogued. We would still have to continue to learn about it and expand our knowledge of these terms. And if it wasn't just an understanding of, oh, it's just between these two borders, then yeah, maybe then I would claim Americano more. But I think I would only claim it now if I was in, a company that understood what that term meant fully.